everyone. Welcome to one of my favorite times of the year, autumn and Halloween. My name is Carol. This is a time of year for trick-or-treating, fall foliage, and pumpkin pie. You caught me doing one of my favorite activities. That's carving a jack-o'-lantern from a pumpkin. How about if we do a little reminiscing of Halloween's past? And stick around because at the end, I want to share with you all a ghost story, which I know you will find entertaining and spooky. It's fun to reminisce, and I came across this wonderful project put together by my friends at Bifocal Productions. This will help us explore the origins of Halloween, also how some of the strange and mysterious traditions came to be. I hope you enjoy it, and when we're done reminiscing, I'll tell you one of my favorite ghost stories. Ooh. October 31st, Fright Night. It began in Europe more than 2,000 years ago as the Celtic New Year's Eve. Their calendar had only 2 seasons. Winter started November 1st and lasted 6 months. On October 31st, the Celts gathered to honor their chief god, the Lord of the Dead. On that day, they ate and drank and told stories of their ancestors. Celts believed that the spirit world became more alive when plants outside were withering and dying. The ghosts of all the people who had died in the past year were thought to be wandering outdoors, while the lively feasters were safe and warm inside. Hilltop bonfires were kept burning until midnight on Halloween to guide the spirits on their way. All over Europe, people put little gifts of food and drink on their doorsteps for those wandering ghosts. That way, the spirits would treat them kindly and give them good luck for the coming year. Today's wandering spirits are children in costumes. They ring doorbells for their gifts of food. They yell trick or treat, and they settle for small treats, but they aren't likely to guarantee good luck in exchange. Those small treats may eventually require a trip to the dentist. Halloween is a magical time, the one night in the year when reality and illusion blend together. A night when anything seems possible. A night when we can pretend to be anybody we want. Behind masks and costumes, we can do anything we want. You shouldn't have to look too far to find someone who can remember a Halloween when a mask or a costume offered the courage to get back at a grumpy neighbor or just play a prank, like moving a privy over just a few feet, or like switching the signs from the pool hall and the Methodist church. Memories come rushing back with the first pumpkins seen each year. There isn't anything else that feels the same as reaching your hand into the pumpkin before carving a jack-o'-lantern, or smells the same as lighting a candle inside it to set up on the porch step. Maybe you've bobbed for apples. Apples are the Celtic symbol for immortality. Perhaps it's worth putting your face in cold water for that. New Year's Eve is traditionally a time to look back over the past year and to predict what will happen in the year ahead. Since Halloween began as a New Year's Eve celebration, it's a time for fortune telling too. Shreds of the old pagan superstitions still cling. Do you worry when a black cat crosses your path? Many still feel a glow of satisfaction when the apple peeling thrown over a shoulder traces the initial of our own true love. Of course you don't believe in ghosts, but on Halloween night, would you dare to walk up to that house that everyone says is haunted? Alone? At midnight? Pleasant nightmares. Hope you had a frightfully good time. Now, wasn't that fun? I love reminiscing. Now I'm going to take you for a walk on a lake, and I'm going to tell you the ghost story of the Lady of the Lake. Follow me. So here we are at a quiet Lake Ronkonkoma, and I'm about to tell you a tale that's been passed on from generation to generation from all the neighbors that are surrounding the lake. It's a love story, but it's also a spooky story. So sit back and enjoy the show. Lake Ronkonkoma. It's Long Island's deepest lake. A beautiful lake surrounded by scenic woods and lined with white sand. Thousands have come to the lake each summer to enjoy the water and bask in the unspoiled natural surroundings. But there are many local residents who won't even dip their toes in Lake Ronkonkoma, and it's not because the water is contaminated in any way. Buried in the lake's waters are untold lost souls, they say, the victims of a centuries-old ghost who regularly drags young men to their graves. Many local people will not swim in the lake. Legend has it that in the 1600s, a young Setauket Indian princess named Tuscawanta fell madly in love with a blonde-bearded woodcutter she spotted one day across the water. In one version, the Native American Juliet catches the eye of her Roman woodsman, Hugh Birdsall, and becomes entranced with him. Yet her father forbids her from seeing him. The distraught princess spends every day for the next 7 years writing Birdsall love letters on pieces of bark and tries to send them to him by floating them across the lake. She never gets a response, and in despair, finally rows out to the middle of the lake and stabs herself in the heart. According to the locals, who love to retell the tragic tale in one version or another, every year, the Lady of the Lake has made it her mission to grab a young man from her watery grave to replace her lost love. The people in Ronkonkoma know these stories. Statistics back up their legends. There were at least 160 drownings at the lake between the mid to late 1800s and the late 1970s, averaging well over one a year. Only 3 were women. As the deepest lake on Long Island, Ronkonkoma has been called bottomless. In reality, the lake is 90 feet at its deepest, 10 feet along the edges, and at some point features a dangerous 45-foot drop. But it's deep enough to keep some secrets as well. As dramatic as some local tales are, there are many residents who dismiss the princess story as just colorful folklore. There have been several books, a movie project, a wall mural of the princess, and now even a sculpture of the Lady of the Lake, carved out of a local tree trunk. One of the neighbors bordering the lake had the sculpture of Tuscawanta carved near her home, believing that she was appeasing the distraught princess. There is no historical proof that the princess ever lived, but Hugh Birdsall is believed to be a real person who moved back to England and married. His one descendant, Matthew, stated that he was brought up on the tales of the Lady of the Lake and absolutely believes it. Some residents say that the legend doesn't just affect the men on the lake. Another tale of the locals, Lake Ronkonkoma noticeably rises and falls every 7 years. That too can be explained by another legend. It's weeping for them still, referring to the princess and her love. Today, this lake is quiet and tranquil, but with the stories that have been told in the past, one doesn't know what lies at the bottom of the lake. Oh, I hope you enjoyed my ghost story today. It was so much fun spending time with you. A special thank you to my friends at Bifocal Productions. And I hope you have a very safe and happy Halloween. Trick or treat!